Well, hello, Lenita here, the Scrappy Grandma. This is my Bible reading playlist, and I'm going to be honest right up from the beginning. This is a struggle to get through today. We've had a really, really rough week with my dad and have not gotten a lot of sleep and different hospitals and him coding and bringing him back to life, and it's been a lot. But this this is my the lamp his word your word is a lamp unto my feet and your Torah is a light, whatever how but this is my manna. This is what I need, but I may struggle through it today. So okay, this week is our 20th reading, which is awesome. 20 weeks in, and we're now going to start getting ready for the feasts. Hope I didn't slurp in that. Anyway, let me know if I did. Sorry. So it's the 20th portion, and I'm reading once again my girlfriend Angelina's um, Torah portions study. And so it gives you a beautiful coloring page, gives you a commentary, a breakdown of what's going on, a place where you can study out the meaning of the words, which is always so fascinating. And then lots and lots of places to take notes. So it's got several note pages and even a page to draw out your thoughts. So, but I love her commentaries. They're very spirit led. So, first, Father God, you are holy and righteous and above all things, and we lift you up and give you honor, praise, and glory. Your name, you are our provider and our comforter and our shield. Thank you. Thank you for allowing this time. Thank you for giving us your Torah, your instructions. Thank you for giving us your instruction manuals, our fences that keep us in and keep us safe, our boundaries. Father God, let this go out to whoever you want to hear it. Bless them when they hear it, and help me to only speak your words, nothing else, to lift you up and glorify you. And Father, bring people to your truth, Father. Open people's eyes, open people's ears. The time is short. Father, please reach out and open eyes and ears so people can come to your truth and walk in covenant with you. In Yeshua's name. Amen. All right. So the Torah portion, I'll do that before I read the commentary. The Torah portion, Exodus 27:20 through 30:10. And prophets, the reading in the prophets is 1 Samuel 15:2 through 34. And then from the Gospels is Mark 6:14 through 29. And then the commentary is the 20th portion, the 20th Torah portion, Tetzaveh, means you shall command, continues the instructions for the construction of the preparation of the tabernacle, focusing on the roles and the responsibilities of the priests who will serve within it. This is big stuff. God commands that pure olive oil be brought to keep the menorah lamps continually burning, symbolizing eternal divine light. Detailed instructions are given for the sacred garments worn by the priests, particularly Aaron the high priest, including the richly or ornamented ephod, breastplate, robe, turban, and sash, which reflects beauty, dignity, and holiness. The breastplate uniquely contains the Urim and the Thummim, tools for divine communication. The portion also outlines the seventh day ordination ceremony to consecrate Aaron and his sons as priests. I'm sorry here, and then something saying Aaron and his son as priests, including offerings and rituals to sanctify their service. Tetzaveh includes concludes with instructions for the golden altar of incense representing the prayers of the people ascending to God. Through these detailed instructions, Tetzaveh emphasizes the theme of dedication to sacred service, teaching that every aspect of worship, down to the smallest detail, must be carried out with reverence, preparation, and a sense of holiness. So this one will be good. All right, let me share my screen. Here we go. Share. Sorry, I gotta adjust everything to get it right. Well, to make it work the way I'd make it work. All right. Share. All right. So we start at Exodus 27:20. Father Yah, as we go through your word, help us to dig out the nuggets, reveal the gemstones that you've placed in there as we go on a treasure hunt to learn more about you, Yah. Thank you so much. Hard to drink coffee without slurping, but I don't want to slurp in the okay. Oil for the lamp. You are to order the people of Israel to bring you pure bring you pure oil of pounded olives for the light, to keep the lamp burning continually. Aaron and his sons are to put it in the tent of meeting outside the curtain in front of the testimony and keep it burning from evening until morning before Adonai. This is to be a permanent regulation through all generations of the people of Israel. Now, here's one of those when people, want to come against keeping the commandments. They're like, well, if you break one, you break them all. And how can you keep the lamp burning if there is no temple? And exactly right. That's something that none of us can do. And that's where grace comes in. It's so beautiful that everyone's right. It's just different perspectives. You know, it's true. We can't keep certain commandments. And we would if we could, but we can't. And it so is, breaking one is breaking all. That the Father knows that we're incapable, and I can't keep men's commandments, or I can't keep priests' commandments. Well, that one we might, yeah, because Brother Judah is actually, I'm learning, is to be the priests. And I guess if we're grafted in, then we are too. Anyway, just learning about a lot of that. So, but this is to be a permanent regulation throughout all generations of the people of Israel. Sadly, not able to be done right now. You are to summon your brother Aaron and his sons to come from among the people of Israel to you, so that they can serve me as Kohanim, which means priest. Aaron and his sons, Nadav, Avahu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. You are to make for your brother Aaron garments set apart for serving God, expressing dignity and splendor. Speak to all the craftsmen to whom I have given the spirit of wisdom, and have them make Aaron's garment to set him apart for me, so that he can serve me in the office of Kohanim as priest. The garments they are to make are these: a breastplate, a ritual vest, a robe, a checkered tunic, a turban, and a sash. They are to make holy garments for your brother Aaron and his sons, so that he can serve me in the office of Kohen. They are to use gold, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine linen. They are to make the ritual vest of gold and blue, purple, scarlet yarn, and a fine woven linen crafted by a skilled artisan. Attached to each front and back edges are to be two shoulder pieces that can be fastened together. As its decorated belt is to be the same workmanship and material: gold, blue, purple, scarlet yarn, and finely woven linen. Take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel. So each one will have 6 names in the stones. 6 of their names on one stone and 6 remaining names on the other in order of their birth. So it'd start out with Reuben and go down. Right now, I couldn't even try to attempt to put them in birth order or even name them all at this point. An engraver should engrave names of the sons of Israel on 2 stones as he would engrave a seal. Mount the stones in gold settings. So, how they do a seal, a lot of people, where they would etch out around the letters to where the letters are raised. So, like that they could, do the wax and do a seal. Hold on, I'm going to have to pause. Hello?
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm with Zachor Healthcare.
Yes,
Can I speak with Michael?
this is Lanita, his daughter.
Oh, Heaven. I want to know, is it possible we can go up there tomorrow? I am the only one out here tonight.
What is it that you're
And,
coming for?
I have a work order to go drop off a lift.
No, we don't.
What?
No, we don't. No, we don't need anything more. We are not. We're going with with hospice and Heinz Hospice. We already have 2 lifts, 2 beds, and 4 wheelchairs. We do not need anything else. And I told them that earlier
Okay.
today.
All right. Sounds good to me. I'll put that in, okay?
Okay,
Sorry
thank
about
you.
that.
No problem. Have a great night.
All right, too.
All right, bye-bye. We're gonna have a lift delivered. Are you here? Nope, not here. Okay, sorry about that. Details. Okay. Oh my gosh, where did I leave off now? The onyx stones, 6 of their name, should name should in an engraver should engrave the names of the sons on the 2 stones as he would engrave a seal, and mount the stones in gold settings, and put the 2 stones on the shoulder pieces of the vest as stones calling to mind the sons of Israel. Aaron is to carry their names before Adonai on his 2 shoulders as a reminder. It's just so beautiful. I mean, every year I go over this, I love it more and more because more of it comes to life and has more meaning. Make gold squares and 2 chains of pure gold, twisted like cords, attached the cord like chains to the squares. Make a breastplate for judging. Have it crafted by a skilled artisan and make it like the work of the ritual vest. Make it of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely woven linen. When folded double, it is to be a squared, by hand span by hand span. So hand span by hand span. Um, Up here, I guess. And so it's going to be a rectangle, but it's going to be folded in half to where, and then it's a square is the breastplate. Put it on settings of stones, 4 rows of stones. The first row is to be carnelian, a topaz, and an emerald. The second row is green feldspar, a sapphire, a diamond. The third row, orange zircon, an agate, and an amethyst. And on the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They are to be mounted in their gold settings. A cool thing I learned about about gemstones in general is there's a couple of different kinds, and I don't know their names, but one, if you like put light through it, oh, what happens now? Oh my gosh. Mm. Something happens to the stones, and like diamonds they don't, I think, put out colors. I think it puts out the colors of the rainbow. Darn it, now it's gonna make me crazy. Light in gemstones, that rainbow. Maybe that'll, so hard, you never know what to ask these things. Um, Okay, gemstone dispersion is effect where white light splits it into component colors as it passes through a gemstone, creating a rainbow-like sparkle. This phenomenon most notably in diamonds. Okay, no, yeah, something else. Huh. Now I'm sorry, now I'm just wasting your time. Do some research. Hey, actually, I'll give you something. Do some research about the different types of stones, gemstones, and all the ones that are in the breastplate all have the same property, which is a finer gemstone, they say. So the stones will correspond to the names of the 12 sons of Israel. They are to be engraved with their names as a seal would be engraved to represent the 12 tribes. So each one's going to have its name. And like I said, it's where it's carved out behind and the letters are raised. So it's like a seal. On the breastplate, make two pure gold chains twisted like cords. Also, for the breastplate, make two gold rings and put gold rings on the two ends of the breastplate. And put the two twisted gold chains in the two rings at the two ends of the breastplate. So it's tying it all together. Attach the other two ends of the twisted chains to the front of the shoulder pieces of the ritual vest. So, it goes down from the shoulder pieces and then the breastplate hangs from there. Make two gold rings and put them on the two ends of the breastplate at its edges on the side facing toward the vest. Also make two gold rings and attach them low on the front part of the vest shoulder pieces near the join above the vest's decorative belt. So it's going to attach it to the bottom. So it's not flapping around. It's going to tie it up here and tie it down there. Then bind the breastplate by its rings to the rings on the vest with a blue cord so that it can be on the vest's decorated belt and so that the breastplate won't swing loose from the vest. Aaron will carry the names of the sons of Israel on the breastplate for judging over his heart when he enters the holy place as a continual reminder before Adonai. You are to put the Urim and the Thummim in the breastplate for judging. They will be over Aaron's heart. So see, remember how it was folded, made a little pocket? You can stick them in there and into the presence of, okay, so Aaron's heart when he goes into the presence of Adonai. Thus, Aaron will always have the means for making decisions for the people of Israel over his heart when he is in the presence of Adonai. And from what I've studied is that the Urim and the Thummim, they're two different stones. And that was like how they cast lots, how they told, it was kind of the father would let them know one way or another. And one one place I even read, and I don't know if it was in one of the extra books or not, but it was talking about how the stone would like reflect onto the actual name of the tribe that had, was being judged or whatever. And, whichever stone, one would be yes and one would be no, that type of a thing. And then I heard that it would reflect off of it and shine onto the wall. I've heard a few different interesting things to research and study, fascinating, especially if you do read some of the extra biblical books. So, you are to make the robe for the ritual vest entirely of blue. It is to have an opening for the head in the middle. Around the opening is to be a border woven like the neck of a coat of mail so that it won't tear. And we'll see later that priests cannot tear their garments. So it has to be very strong there because one of the mourning practices is tearing your garments and putting ash on your head and things, and priests can't. That'll be a couple portions coming. Um, on its bottom hem, make pomegranates of blue, purple, and scarlet, and put them all the way around with gold bells between them all the way around. Gold bells, pomegranate, gold bell, pomegranate, all the way around the hem of the robe. Aaron is to wear it when he ministers, and its sound will be heard whenever he enters the holy place before Adonai, and when he leaves, that he won't die. You are to make an ornament of pure gold and engrave on it a seal set apart for Adonai. Fasten it to the turban with blue cord. So on his turban, it literally says in gold, set apart for Adonai. He is holy unto the Lord, holy unto the Most High. Um, so put it onto the turban, over Aaron's forehead, because Aaron bears the guilt for any errors committed by the people of Israel in consecrating their holy gifts. This ornament is always to be on his forehead so that the gifts for Adonai will be accepted by him. You are to weave a checkered tunic of fine linen and make a turban of fine linen and make a belt and the work of a weaver in colors. Likewise, for Aaron's son, make tunics, sashes, and headgear expressing dignity and splendor. With them, clothe your brother Aharon and his sons, then anoint them, inaugurate them, and consecrate them, so that they will be able to serve me in the office of Kohen. Also make for them linen shorts reaching the waist to thigh to cover their bare flesh. Aharon and his sons are to wear them when they go into the tent of meeting and when they approach the altar to minister in the holy place, so that they won't incur guilt and die. This is to be a perpetual regulation for both him and his descendants. So that's, Aaron's sons are the priests and grandsons and so on and so forth. 29. Here's what you are to do to consecrate them for ministry to me in the office of Kohen. Take one young bull and two rams without defect, also matzah cakes mixed with olive oil, and matzah wafers spread with oil, all made from fine wheat flour. Put them together in a basket and present them in the basket along with the bull and the two rams. Bring Aaron and his sons. I'm sorry, I'm not doing the thing. Bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance of the tent of meeting and wash them with water. Take the garments and put on Aaron the tunic, the robe for ritual vest, the vest itself, and the breastplate, and fashion the vest on him with its belt, and put the turban on his head and attach the holy ornament to the turban. Then take the anointing oil and anoint him by pouring it on his head. Bring his sons, put tunics on them, wrap sashes around them, Aaron and his sons, and put the headgear on their heads. The office of Cohen is to be theirs as a permanent regulation. Thus, you will consecrate Aaron and his sons. Bring the young bull to the front of the tent of meeting, and Aaron and his sons are to lay their hands on the bull's head, and you are to slaughter the bull in the presence of Adonai at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Take some of the bull's blood and put it on the horns of the altar with your finger, and pour out all the rest of the blood at the base of the altar. Take all the fat that covers the inner organs, covering of the liver and the two kidneys with their fat, and offer them up in smoke on the altar. But the bull's flesh, skin, and dung you are to destroy by fire outside the camp. It is a sin offering. I've always thought, I haven't always thought, I never gave it much thought until the last few years. And then I kind of like to try to put myself, picture how it was. It had to smell like a meat market. It's all I can think about is because, especially like on some of the feasts and stuff where they're slaughtering, and like when Solomon dedicated the temple, they lost count on how many offerings, and it was just a big barbecue. Really, this is what it is. It's a barbecue. They slaughter the animal, they let it bleed out, it's got to stink. Um, and then, they get all the blood out of it, they chop it up. Some of it is for the Most High, and the rest of it is for Aaron and his sons, and then some's also for the people. And it's a big barbecue. It's what is it? It's a covenant meal, a covenant meal. And so, I've always thought, okay, they sacrifice all this stuff and they burn it. And I didn't even consider what it was actually, that it was, and then they came together while they were sacrificing this and they ate the meat. But the bull's flesh, skin, and dung you're to destroy by fire outside the camp. It is a sin offering. Take one of the rams. Aaron and his sons are to lay their hands on the ram's head, and you are to slaughter the ram. Take its blood and splash it on all sides of the altar. Quarter the ram, wash the inner organs and the lower parts of the legs, and put them with the quarters and the head. Then offer up the whole ram in smoke on the altar. It is a burnt offering for Adonai, a pleasing aroma, and offering made to Adonai by fire. So this one, they burn the whole thing up for him. Take the other ram. Adonai, Aharon and his sons are to lay hands on the ram's head, and you are to slaughter the ram. Take some of its blood, put it on the lobe of Aaron's right ear and the lobe of his son's right ears and the thumbs of their right hand, and the big toe of their right feet, and take the rest of the blood and splash it on all sides of the altar. And this I've always thought is really beautiful, so the ear putting is there, it's, consecrating, and his what he hears and what he obeys, and his hand is what he does, and his foot is where he goes, and all of that is to be holy and set apart and consecrated. Um, Then take some of the blood that is on the altar and some of the anointing oil and sprinkle it on Aaron and his clothing and his son's clothing and his sons with him, so that he and his clothing will be consecrated, and with him his sons and his sons' clothing. Now here's where it's like, so they've got blood sprinkled all over them, blood and oil. That's got to be hard to wash. Also, take the fat from the ram, the fat tail, the fat that covers the inner organs, the two kidneys, the fat covering them, and the right thigh, for it is a ram of consecration, along with 1 loaf of bread, 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer from the basket of matzah, which is before Adonai, and put it all in the hands of Aaron and his sons. They are to wave them as a wave offering in the presence of Adonai. Then take them back and burn them up in smoke on the altar on top of the burnt offering, to be a pleasing aroma before Adonai. It is an offering made to Adonai by fire. Take the breast of the ram for Aaron's consecration and wave it as a wave offering before Adonai. It will be your share. See, then this is where they sit down and they eat it, having a covenant meal with the Most High. Consecrate the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of any contribution that has been waved and raised up, whether from the ram of consecration or from anything else meat meant for Aaron and his sons. This will belong to Aaron and his sons as their share perpetually due from the people of Israel. So these are the offerings that the people bring, and this is how Aaron and his descendants, this is how they eat. They don't have jobs. This is their job, and their payment comes in from everyone else when they come to offer sacrifices. It will be a contribution from the people of Israel, from their peace offerings, their contribution to Adonai. The holy garments of Aaron will be used by his sons after him. They will be anointed and consecrated in them. The son who becomes Cohen in his place, who comes into the tent of meeting to serve in the holy place, is to wear them for 7 days. Take a ram of consecration and boil its meat in a holy place. Aaron and his sons will eat the ram's meat and the bread in the basket at the entrance of the tent of meeting. They are to eat the things with which atonement was made for them, to inaugurate and consecrate them. No one else may eat this food because it's holy. So this is just for Aaron and his son. If any of this meat for consecration or any of the bread remains until morning, burn it up. What remains, it is not to be eaten because it's holy. Carry out all of these orders I've given you concerning Aaron and his sons. You are to spend 7 days consecrating them. Each day offer a young bull as a sin offering, besides the other offerings of atonement, and offer the sin offering on the altar as your atonement for it. Then anoint it to consecrate it. 7 days you will make atonement on the altar and consecrate it. Thus the altar will be especially holy, and whatever touches the altar will become holy. Now, this is what you are to offer on the altar: 2 lambs, a year old, regularly every day. So there's the morning offering and then the evening offering. A lot of, and I think what happened, is once the temple was destroyed, what they started doing after that is when they started their morning prayer and their evening prayer, and that now, until there's another temple, is their morning offering and their evening offering. 1 lamb you are to offer in the morning, and the other lamb at dusk. With 1 lamb, offer 2 quarts of finely ground flour mixed with 1 quart of oil pressed from olives, along with 1 quart of wine as a drink offering. As we go, because it'll be finely milled flour, fine ground flour. And I heard a story where how the Cohens would tell if it was finely ground is, they'd put the flour out and then they would rub their hands together to create static electricity. And then they would just like go over the flour with it. And if the flour raised up to their hands from the static electricity, then that was fine enough. And if it didn't, then they had to grind it finer. Kind of cool. Um, Random piece of information, but that's finely ground flour. The other lamb you are to offer at dusk. Do this as with the morning grain and drink offering. It will be a pleasing aroma, an offering made to Adonai by fire. Through all of your generations, this is to be a regular burnt offering at the entrance to the tent of meeting before Adonai. This is where I will meet with you to speak with you. There I will meet with the people of Israel, and the place will be consecrated by my glory. I will consecrate the tent of meeting and the altar. Likewise, I will consecrate Aharon and his sons to serve me in office of Kohen. Then I will live with the people of Israel to be their God. They will know that I am Adonai their God, who brought them out of the land of Egypt in order to live with them. I am Adonai their God. This is from the beginning. He created the garden, which they say is the original tabernacle. It's where he met with human beings, and he needs a holy consecrated place to be able to meet with human beings. And so the garden was the first tabernacle, and then this one, the tabernacle in the wilderness, and then they've got the two temples. And then after Yeshua, it's we, and a couple of different ways. We, our bodies are the temple, but we also, as a body, are, the temple made up by living stones. So 30. Altar of incense. You are to make an altar on which to burn incense. Make it of acacia wood. It is to be 18 inches square, 3 feet high. Its horns are to be of one piece with it. Overlay it with pure gold, its top all around its sides, its horns, and put around it a molding of gold. Make 2 gold rings for it under its molding. At the 2 corners, both sides, this is where the carrying poles will go, and make the poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Place it in front of the curtain by the ark for the testimony, in front of the ark cover that is over the testimony where I will meet you. Aaron will burn fragrant incense on it as a pleasing aroma every morning. He's to burn it when he prepares the lamps. So Aaron's going to go in every morning and he's going to light incense. He's going to trim the wicks, and with the lamps are shining on the table of showbread with the matzah, the flatbread on there, one representing each tribe. And so, he gets up in the morning and he goes in and does this. He goes in, this is his ritual, goes in, gets dressed, and then goes in to take care of the temple. Adonai said to Moshe, when you take a census of the people, oh, wait a second. Nope, that's next week. Sorry. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I got lost over here. Place it in front of the curtain by the ark for the testimony, in front of the ark cover that is over the testimony where I will meet with you, and Aaron will burn the fragrant incense on it as a pleasing aroma every morning. He is to burn it when he prepares the lamps. Aaron is also to burn it when he lights the lamps at dusk. This is a regular burning of incense before Adonai throughout all your generations. You are not to offer unauthorized incense on it. Unfortunately, next portion, I'm pretty sure we're going to find out that his sons did, and it became tragic. So you are not to offer unauthorized incense on it, or a burnt offering or grain offering, and you are not to pour a drink offering on it. Aharon is to make atonement on its horns once a year with the blood of the sin offering of atonement. He is to make atonement for it once a year through all your generations. It is especially holy. That's on the Day of Atonement, of course, every year. So then next is, uh-oh, I lost my page. I did lose my page way back there. There we go. Okay. 1 Samuel 15. 1 Samuel 15, 2 through 34. Here's what Adonai Tetzaveh says, I remember what Amalek did to Israel, how they fought against Israel when they were coming up from Egypt. Now go and attack Amalek and completely destroy everything they have and don't spare them, but kill the men, women, children, and babies, cows, sheep, camels, and donkeys. I know that seems so cruel. And I used to think, oh my gosh, why is he having them kill babies? Well, unfortunately, these are people that hate Israel, hate the Hebrew people, and they will continuously try to kill them. Shaul summoned the people. That's David's dad. Not David's dad. No, David's dad. Never mind. Saul, King Saul, Shaul. King Saul summoned the people and reviewed them in Telaim. 200,000 foot soldiers with another 10,000 men from Yehudah. Shaul arrived at the city of Amalek and lay in wait in the valley. Shaul said to Kenai, go away, withdraw, leave your homes there with the Amalekite. Otherwise, I might destroy you along with them, even though you were kind to all the people of Israel when they came out of Egypt. So the Kenai went away from among the Amalekite. Then Shaul attacked Amalek, starting at Havilah and continuing towards Shur at the border of Egypt. He took Agag, the king of Amalek, alive, but he completely destroyed the people, putting them to the sword. However, Shaul and the people spared Agag, along with the best of the sheep, cattle, and even the second best, also the lambs and everything that was good. They weren't inclined to destroy these things, but everything that was worthless or weak, they completely destroyed. And see, Amalek, spirit of Amalek today is still horrible. Amalek was a king, and when they were coming out of Egypt, he came up around the back of them. And I was actually thinking about this, yesterday, the day before, whenever, I think it was the day before when I was in the hospital. Yeah, Friday night when I was in the hospital room with my dad, and I was just kind of pondering everything. And I'm like, so when the Israelites were leaving Egypt, they had all the strong people and, they had their families and their tribe, families and all the tribes and all of that. But then they had their elderly and then they had their infirmed. And I'm thinking, okay, if the second Exodus, it's time, what do we do with my dad? And, what did they do with their elderly? They had to take them on carts, I would imagine, and wheel them along. Well, Amalek came up from behind and he attacked those that were lagging behind, the weak, the infirmed, and weak in the faith, maybe ones that were like dragging their feet because they didn't want to leave Egypt, because they didn't want to leave all the luxury that they had, even as slaves in Egypt, to go out into a scary, unknown wilderness, desert. So, this is one of the reasons that the Most High had so much against Amalek, because he attacked and took advantage of the weakest of the people. And so he has a disdain for him. However, Shaul and the people spared Agag along with the best of the sheep, best of the cattle, and also the lambs and everything that was good. They weren't inclined to destroy these things, but everything that was worthless or weak, they completely destroyed. Then the word of Adonai came to Shamuel. So Samuel, the prophet, I love Samuel. I regret setting up Shaul as king because he has turned back from following me and hasn't obeyed my orders. This made Shamuel very sad, so that he cried to Adonai all night. Samuel got up in the morning. Shamuel got up in the morning to meet Shaul. However, Shamuel was told Shaul came to Carmel to set up a monument for himself there, but now he is left and is on his way back to Gilgal. Shamuel went to Shaul. Shaul said to him, May Adonai bless you. I have done what Adonai ordered. Oh, it's so sad. But Shamuel answered, If so, why do I hear sheep bleating and cows mooing? Shaul said, well, they brought them back from the Amalekite because the people spared the best of the sheep and cattle to sacrifice to Adonai, your God. Your God. I always thought that was very interesting. He doesn't claim it to be his, Saul, King Saul, Shaul, did not claim him. He said, your God, to sacrifice to your God, Samuel. But we completely destroyed the rest. Then Samuel said to Shaul, stop. I'm going to tell you what Adonai said to me last night. He said, speak. Samuel then said, you may be small in your own sight, but you are head of the tribes of Israel. Adonai anointed you to be king over Israel. Now Adonai sent you on a mission and told you, go and completely destroy Amalek, those sinners. Keep making war on them until they have been exterminated. Why did you seize the spoil instead of paying attention to what Adonai said? From Adonai's viewpoint, you have done an evil thing. Shaul, obedience is, you know, obedience is doing exactly what is said, not part of what was said. An instant or, delayed obedience is disobedience, or a little bit of this is disobedience. He wasn't obedient. Shaul said to Samuel, I did too pay attention to what Adonai said, and I carried out the mission on which Adonai sent me. I brought back Agag, the king of Amalek, and I completely destroyed Amalek. But the people took some of the spoil. But the people, he didn't, he blamed all them. But the people took some of the spoil and the best of the sheep and cattle set aside for destruction to sacrifice to Adonai, your God, in Gilgal. Samuel said, does Adonai take as much pleasure in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying what Adonai says? I love how a lot of the churches will take that as, oh, he doesn't take pleasure in burnt offerings anymore. That's not what this is saying. This is saying, you know, the fact that you brought back these animals that you were told to completely exterminate to sacrifice, he wants obedience, not your own way of trying to please him. So surely obeying is better than sacrifice, and heeding orders than the fat of rams. For rebellion is like the sin of sorcery, stubbornness like the crime of adultery. Because you have rejected the word of Adonai, he too has rejected you as king. Shaul said to Samuel, I have sinned. I have violated the order of Adonai and your words too, because I was afraid of the people and listened to what they said. Now please pardon my sin and come back with me so that I can worship Adonai. But Samuel said to Shaul, I will not go back with you because you have rejected the word of Adonai, and Adonai has rejected you as king over Israel. As Samuel was turning around to leave, he took hold of the hem of his cloak and he tore, and it tore. Samuel said to him, Adonai has torn the kingdom of Israel away from you today and given it to a fellow countryman of yours who is better than you. Moreover, the Eternal One of Israel will not lie or change his mind, because he isn't a mere human being subject to changing his mind. This always gets me right here because, it's like, oh, well, Israel turned their back on God, so now you know the church has taken the place of the Hebrews, and it's like, and God made a new way because, or they could the Hebrews couldn't keep the law, so he changed his mind and, like, okay, well, I'll send my son and they don't have to keep the law. And it's like, it's right here. He will not lie or he will not change his mind, but he made these rules, instructions, covenants for us to live by. And he doesn't change his mind. And Jesus didn't come to change anything. He came to do it exactly and show us how to do it exactly. Then Shaul said, I have sinned, but in spite of that, please show me respect by now before the leaders of my people and before Israel by coming back with me so I can worship Adonai your God. He's like, don't make me look bad. So Samuel followed Shaul back, and Shaul worshipped Adonai. Then Samuel said, bring Agag, the king of Amalek, here to me. Agag came to him in chains and said, without doubt, mine will be a bitter death. Samuel said, just as your sword has left women childless, so your mother will be left childless among women. Then Samuel cut Agag in pieces before Adonai in Gilgal. Shamuel returned to Ramah, and Shaul went up to his house in Giv at Shaul. Never again did Samuel see Shaul until the day he died, but Samuel grieved over Shaul, and Adonai regretted that he had made Shaul king over Israel. And then the Gospels is Mark 6:14. The death of John the Baptist. This one always breaks my heart. Meanwhile, King Herod heard about this, for Yeshua's reputation had spread. Some were saying, Yohanan, that's John, Yohanan, the immerser, John the Baptizer, has been raised from the dead. This is why these miraculous powers are at work in him. Others said that Elijah, and still others, he's a prophet like one of the old prophets. But Herod heard about it, and he said, Yohanan, John, whom I had beheaded, has been raised. For Herod had sent and had Yohanan arrested in chains in prison because of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip. Herod had married her. So Herodias is Herod's wife, but she was also the wife of Herod's brother Philip. He must have gotten killed or something, and then, or he just took her from him. But Yohanan had told him, it violates the Torah for you to marry your brother's wife. So Herodias had a grudge against him and wanted him put to death. But this she could not accomplish because Herod stood in awe of Yohanan and protected him, for he knew that he was a tzaddik, a holy man. Whenever he heard him, he became deeply disturbed, yet he liked to listen to him. Finally, the opportunity came. Herod gave a banquet on his birthday for his nobles and officers and the leading men of Galilee. Just a side little thing here, rant. There's only 2 birthdays mentioned in all of Scripture. This is one of them. I forget the other one right now. But I was always like, if you really know the Messiah, Jesus, and how humble he is, he would never ask people to celebrate his birthday. And birthdays aren't celebrated except for people who want to honor themselves. So anyway, it's a I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but just a side note. The daughter of Herodias came in and danced, and she pleased Herod and his guests. So let's see, the daughter of Herodias must have been, so his niece, because his wife was married to his brother, probably, and this girl had to have been at least an adolescent. And so it's not his daughter, so it must be his niece. The daughter of Herodias came in and danced, and she pleased Herod and his guests. The king said to the girl, ask me for whatever you want, I will give it to you. And he made a vow to her, whatever you ask, I will give it to you, up to half of my kingdom. So she went out and said to her mother, what should I ask for? She said, the head of Yohanan, John the immerser, John the Baptist. At once the daughter hurried back to the king and announced her request. I want you to give me right now on a platter the head of Yohanan the immerser. Herod was appalled, but out of regret for the oaths he had sworn before his dinner guests, he did not want to break his word to her. So the king immediately sent a soldier from the personal guard with orders to bring Yohanan's head. The soldier went and beheaded Yohanan in the prison, but brought his head on a platter and gave it to the girl, and the girl gave it to her mother. And when Yohanan's Taladim, his disciples, Taladim means disciples. So when Yohanan's disciples heard of it, they came and took the body and laid it in a grave. So heartbreaking. All right. Well, stop sharing. There we go. Thank you for, oh gosh, I'm looking through my bifocals. Thank you for sharing this time with me. See, so refreshing. His word, it really is our manna. It is our daily bread. And it just has already done wonders just to read it to you guys. So be blessed. Thank you for listening. And let me know if you have any comments. And if the Lord leads, share it with a friend. Love you. Bye.